Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, it's been a long time since I've uploaded a Stranger of Paradise video. I do apologise for not covering the Gilgamesh DLC earlier. But I am going to be covering this build first, and then covering a little bit of Gilgamesh content later on, just to get ready for the third DLC, which is, you know, looking really good. The trailer has come out for that, and it looks really fun. So, yeah, I'm basically covering Gilgamesh DLC now, getting ready for that, and... you know, before doing all that, I wanted to cover a relevant build that hasn't been nerfed into the ground like my other one, and just basically have a bit of fun with it. So this build is going to be focused on Summoner, so if you're a big Summoner fan, this one is perfect for you. If not, hopefully this gets you into Summoner. It is very powerful. It will sweep the entire game, no problem. All the Gilgamesh floors, you know, whatever, all the level 500 missions, all of the Chaos bosses, everything. It will sweep everything. So hopefully you enjoy this build. Let me know what you think, and let's get right into this. Alright, so yeah, Summoner. If you're unfamiliar with Summoner, pretty much you just play as Bahamut instead of Jack. It will gradually reduce your maximum MP and your regular MP count over time. We are going to be using High Summoner for the Ultima ability. Overall though, the, you know, Ultima and whatever abilities don't actually matter. You can use whichever Summoner you'd like. But I do recommend High Summoner just for the extra stats, and I mean that's pretty much it for Summoner. Alright, Job Affinities. So starting off, we've got Abyss Knight level 400. The reason why we have this is because it will activate all of our near-death effects at all times. They'll always be active, which is really powerful for this build, and we are going to be double downing on that pretty heavily. And of course the rest of Dark Knight, you know, helps that out. So that's Dark Knight. Now we have 400% Breaker. The reason why we have this is because when we Soul Burst kill an enemy, it will give us a damage buff. Now the whole build, and Bahamut in general, heavily relies on Soul Bursting, and a lot of it is about Soul Bursting, so this is just kind of an easy way to get more damage, essentially. And we'll also get more MP every time we Soul Burst too, which is kind of just the icing on the cake here. Next up we have Dragoon 400, which actually is kind of optional. It's basically just for more attack speed when you're in Lightbringer. But you can, you know, get rid of 400 and just go for the 250%, which will let you Soul Burst enemies after ability kills as well, which is just really nice with all the other Soul Burst stuff we have. And you'll also get more break damage as well. Now for Knight 400%, which is extremely important for the build, you will become completely invulnerable when you use Lightbringer. This is extremely powerful for Bahamut and just the build in general, so 100% you need this. The rest of Knight doesn't really matter. We're just here for the invulnerability on Lightbringer. And then we have High Summoner, which is going to decrease sustained MP costs, so like the passive drain on using Bahamut, that'll be, you know, lessened, dampened, if you will, when you have this, so definitely have High Summoner. I recommend getting this through the master points and not necessarily your gear, because that's a very easy way to get that. And then finally we have Samurai, which is going to make our abilities cost less when we use them. And then we also have Breaker, which is going to refill break gauge when we do damage. All very good things, and that is it for jobs. Okay, so before I get into the gear upgrades, I just want to mention that you need 400% Evoker and 120% High Summoner on your ult job. The reason for this is you can farm infinite MP in the background before fights and whatever for free without having to do anything, and I'll have a tutorial on that right now. Okay, so to chain cancel, essentially what you want to do is use a class that can have an infinite way of applying a buff, like 𝐰𝐨𝐫𝐤 on the White Mage. And then you just want to pop it and instantly switch your job. So you can see here I'm activating 𝐰𝐨𝐫𝐤 and then switching between Summoner and back to White Mage really quickly. And that will count as a chain cancel, and that will give me maximum MP for free. Then because I have Evoker 400%, I can regen MP for free. You need 400% Evoker and at least 120% of Summoner on your ult job of choice. You can pretty much use whichever you want. Ninja works as well, White Mage, whatever. But yeah, that's how you chain cancel. Okay, so equipment upgrades. First off, weapons. You can use whichever weapon you want, but I do recommend a short sword because you can have a shield. And the good thing about a shield is it has its own upgrades, right? Like, for example, Lightbringer Duration, Strength that you see on the sword here. I can have that on the shield as well. So using any other weapon type will basically remove that. Or most other weapon types will remove that, and then you lose a lot of buffs that way. So go for a short sword, go for a mace or something, and get a shield. It is very powerful. As for the actual upgrades themselves, go for anything that can reduce the MP cost of your command abilities. Go for Lightbringer Duration up, Strength up, Lightbringer, or during Lightbringer damage dealt up, near death damage dealt up, you know, stuff like that, summon damage up, whatever. Just try and copy most of what I've got in here if you need to, and you should end up with a lot of the same special effects as you can see here. Very, very insane reductions and buffs that I've got going on here. Very powerful stuff. As for the command abilities themselves, I've got Mighty Strikes to increase attack, obviously for more damage. Lancet to recover HP and MP when I hit enemies' weak points, which, you know, is going to happen a lot. And I've got Lunatic for attack speed. Primary Blessing here, I've got Odin, so that I make everything vulnerable to every attack. And that means Lancet can work every single time. And of course we have Lightbringer, because this is the main catalyst for the build. We are completely invincible when we are in this, and we'll soul burst everything after every kill with that, which means infinite MP, lots of damage, and we can't die. And that is it. That's it for the video. Very straightforward build, but extremely powerful, as you've seen in the clips of, you know, me taking down bosses. I'm not sure what clips I put in the video because I'm recording this before I've put in those clips. So, yeah. I'll probably have clips at the end as well. There'll be timestamps for all of that if you're curious. I'm not sure where I put the chain cancelling tutorial as well. Either I put that halfway through the video or I'm putting it after this section. Either way, there's a timestamp for that somewhere as well. That is a very important, you know, piece of information to learn so that you can farm maximum MP all the way to its limit, which means, you know, you can go into a boss fight fresh with full bars and completely decimate it with Bahamut without needing to, you know, set anything up or farm out kills or whatever instead. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the build, and yeah, I'll be covering more Gilgamesh gameplay and DLC stuff as mentioned. Getting ready for the third DLC. It's going to be great. So thanks for watching. Adios.
Time for a change. Getting desperate.